Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Ringside Recap. I am your host, Nature the Ninja, and let's get started with a brand new week of wrestling, starting with Monday Night Raw. So guys, welcome back to the show, and I think this Monday Night Raw is gonna be a good one for the most part. I know that Brock Lesnar is going to come out. I'm pretty sure him and Oba are going to have a moment. I think Roman is going to be here also this Monday Night Raw. So I'm pretty sure that him, probably Solo, is going to have a moment. And I think everything else will follow suit. I know that I think the Vision is going to have something as well. But I think this Monday night is going to be okay. I think we have a good one. And I know I've seen a lot of people online talking about Rhea and her situation with the championship. I think Rhea is going to definitely forfeit her championship. I think it's time. We haven't seen her since, the Clash? And I heard that she had like a torn meniscus or something in her knee, or something close in that factor. But I guess we're not going to hear nothing probably till like Friday on what they're going to do about that. But I guess we're going to see on Friday how that's going to turn out to be. But after all that, let's get started with the show. So guys, the show opens up with Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Now, I'm just save y'all the details. He didn't really say nothing other than just him playing mind games with Obafemi. And basically, he put a restraining order on Obafemi, which made the police department of Houston, Dallas, wherever they are, somewhere in Texas, to come out. Like, these police officers that they be getting are just the most fakest police officers I've ever seen in my life. So they come out and they're in the ring because they hear Obafemi music playing, and Obafemi just cleans house, and Brock Lesnar and Paul runs away. And basically Oba is like, you know what, I'm tired of the games, I'm tired of the low blows, it's gonna be me and you at SummerSlam. He's calling me a dummy for giving away my title opportunity, but this means more than that, to go against you and beat you once and for all. And that's basically it. The same stuff we hear every single week with those two. So I guess they just want to say that Paul gave a restraining order to Obafemi to make it somewhat, I don't know, interesting. I don't know. It wasn't even interesting, to be honest. Like, we already know that Paul Heyman be giving people restraining orders, but we know they don't ever work. People just gonna break it anyway, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, those two opened up the show, and during Raw, or the next couple weeks of Raw until SummerSlam, they're gonna do like little Shield video packages, and they done one, and I love how they're trying their best to cut out Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley. If you watch him on AEW, they're trying to cut him out so bad, but y'all can't have this stuff in Roman without having him too as the Shield. But I guess we're going to see in the next couple weeks how they're going to play that out. So y'all, we have our first match of the night. We had Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. And Roxanne did not come alone. She did have the Judgment Day ladies with her. She had Liv, she had Raquel. And I'm not gonna lie, the match her and Io had, I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good match. But, of course, it can never be cleanly when you have the Judgment Day with you. So Liv and Raquel did get involved. So then Ruka come out and try to help Io. That kind of caused a distraction to Roxanne. And Io ended up rolling up Roxanne and getting the win. But then Io gets jumped from the rest of the Judgment Day ladies. So I think it was a good moment. I really enjoyed this segment. with the Judgment Day ladies. Normally I don't care for the Judgment Day at all, but I really enjoyed this segment. But yeah. So then it jumps to the Vision, and the Vision have this moment trying to celebrate with Maxine, and before they even get to talking, Alpha Academy comes out, and Otis tries to confess his love to Maxine after all this time. And then Austin and everybody else in the background is just like making fun of Otis because he's taking his time trying to confess his love to her. And eventually they all get into a brawl, and Maxine just like screaming in the corner like, "Oh my god, stop!" But then eventually she gets everybody to stop, and she's talking to Otis, and she's like buttering up Otis just for Austin to hit him in the family jewels. And Maxine was just playing the whole time. She did not care. She just laughed in Otis and Tozawa's face. Tozawa was there too, but then he got destroyed by Braun somehow in the middle of the fight. And that ended their segment. I enjoyed that segment. That was a good segment. It made me curious to see what they're going to do now. Only thing I hope they just not going to turn into a Judgment Day 2.0. That's like my only fear. But I guess we'll see in the next couple weeks. So y'all, the next match we had was kind of like a surprising match. It was Jimmy Uso versus Royce Keys again, randomly on a Monday. This match honestly did not make any sense on why we have to have it again, but Jacob Fatu comes out and he basically jumps Royce Keys, and them two was jumping Royce. So then Solo came around and he was like, whoa, 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 I learned my lesson. I'm gonna join the family. But that was a fake. He had his spike, and then he spiked Jimmy, and then he was getting ready to try to attack Jacob, but then them two started scrambling, but then Jacob put him in the Tongan death grip, and that ended that. So then LA Knight came around with a chair, and he was trying to help defend everybody. So he ended up fighting everyone off. So then LA Knight come up with the solution of basically LA Knight, Royce Keys, Solo versus Jacob, Jimmy, and Jay at SummerSlam. So we have that to look forward to. So then it jumps to the Vision, and it's basically Paul Heyman saying like, you know what? Congratulations, y'all did good. I love what y'all did out there. I love what I see, especially you, Maxine. So since y'all did so good without me, you don't need me no more. And then he just walks away out of everybody's face. Cause Austin did say like, so you want to come back? But then he's like, I'm gonna just give the reins to Maxine. So I guess Maxine is gonna be the leader of the Vision right now until Paul is done with Brock Lesnar's business. So guess another thing we got to look forward to for the next couple of weeks with them. So we get a quick little segment with GM Adam Pearce and Obafemi, and basically it's just GM Adam Pearce telling Obafemi that those police officers, the restraining order, everything was fake and phony. And Oba's like, you know what, I already knew that, but that tells me that Brock Lesnar is scared of me, and I'll be handling him at SummerSlam in Hell in a Cell. So that was it. Really, we didn't need that. So I just kept it short for y'all. So the next segment we get a Bayley and Lyra segment, and Bayley basically calls out Lyra, and them two just chew out each other. Lyra tells Bayley that she is the reason why she's such a failure. She caused all her partners to fail. She is not the best horsewoman out of all the four. She's just not the best at all in anything that she does. So then Bayley goes through her accolades, saying that she's the first woman Grand Slam champion. She's the first ever person to hold the tag title. She just goes through her whole accolades. So then eventually Lyra tries to jump Bayley as she was leaving, but Bayley was on top of it, and them two got in a little scuffle. But at the end, Lyra got the better end of the scuffle. So Bailey and Lyra will be at Madison Square Garden next Saturday or something like that on Peacock. Okay, y'all, so the next match and also the last match of the night, it was a gauntlet match to see who was going to be the number one contender for Penta's Intercontinental Championship. So, we had Dominic Mysterio, Javon Evans, Rusev, Ethan Page, Joe Henry, Dragon Lee, Chad Gable, and this match was amazing. Now, only thing I'm going to say is I think Javon should definitely had won this match. He literally carried the whole match to me, in my opinion. And then Chad just like clunked it up and he won the match, making Ethan Page submit to the ankle lock. And he is going to SummerSlam to face Penta for that championship. So this was definitely the best match of the night. It really was just 3 matches anyway of the night, but this was definitely the best one out of the other 2. But I am really excited to see this match on SummerSlam. Oh, and I forgot something. Danhausen also tried to curse Dominic Mysterio, but it didn't work. I forgot to say that earlier. So, y'all, we had the last segment of the night. We had Steph and Roman's contract signing. And it started off all nice and dandy. They both, they did a little shot at each other here and there. But they both eventually signed the contract. So then you slowly see GM Adam Pearce sliding out of the ring. And once I knew he slid out the ring with the contract in his hand, I just knew they were going to get ready to fight. So Roman and Steph start throwing shots at each other like crazy. So basically, Steph told Roman, thank you for holding my championship for me. Keeping it warm for me, basically. And I'm going to win it from you. And then, guess I'm going to see you in the next couple of weeks when you show back up to work. So then, Steph walks away, and Roman is like, wait a minute. Hold on now. I know you're not throwing shots at me. So, what's going to happen when you win the championship from me? Let me guess. You're going to get injured? Because, it's not like self-sabotage. Every time you get a championship, you get hurt. And then every single time you want to complain about a championship, you have to use the money in the bank. You have to fake to get injured. And that's the only way how you win championships. So, Steph didn't like that too often either. So basically, Steph gets in the face of Roman. And he basically tells Roman he doesn't want to be like him. He had to look himself in the mirror and realize that he would never be like Roman. And Roman's like, whatever. I don't want you to be like me. You thought you had everything I had by being under his work daddy, Triple H. And it didn't work. No matter how much leeway and everything you had, you would never be in Roman's shoes. And then Steph just starts beating up Roman. And at this point, I'm sitting here like, where is Jacob and Jimmy at? Your OTC is getting beaten up over here. But Roman tried to come back, but it didn't work. He ends up getting curb stomped. And that ends night with Monday Night Raw. Now, this show was actually decent. It was a decent show. I actually like a lot of the show today than normally. But I think my favorite moment of this night was definitely the gauntlet match and this segment. I think this is really good. I really enjoyed this show tonight. But thank y'all for hanging out with me today. Please be sure to follow, like, subscribe, everything. Be sure to follow on the socials over here if you want to. And I will see y'all on Friday for Friday Night SmackDown. So, once again, thank you. And be sure to be blessed, love one another, and mental health matters. Bye.